News and media outlets like to create fear in a lot of ways, and one of the ways they're doing that right now is in relation to smart home products, the Internet of Things, and how hacking and big vulnerabilities exist in these systems. So let me give you 5 basics that you can take forward to manage your smart home security. Hello automators, thanks for tuning in again. Let's take some of the frustration out of automation here. Smart home security does not need to be hard, and it does not need to frighten you. Now, I'm going to reach back a little bit into something my father used to say, and it has stuck with me my whole life actually. Really, what you have to do is just make yourself a little harder to quote unquote get than the next person. And I think that's a really important concept as it relates to smart home security. And so as I go through these 5 things here, you're going to find that if you combine all 5 of these, you're just going to be a little harder to quote unquote get from a vulnerability or a hacking standpoint than anyone else. And so it's going to be much easier for someone to either attack someone else who hasn't employed these 5 things and or break into a home the age-old way of, breaking a window. One of the easiest ways for people to get into either your smart home system or really any of your accounts or services that you utilize for your smart home is through a user account and a password that has been exposed and reutilized in other ways or other places. And if you read lots of the news reports, Nest had a couple of incidents where people were saying, well, somebody was on my Nest Cam utilizing the mic and I can't believe they did that. But really, when you get down to it with a lot of those stories, what had happened is they had used that same username or password in another service, and or another service had been breached and their account for their Nest services had been exposed on the internet. Now, there's a couple of ways to tackle this. Number one, I'm using what's called Google's Password Checkup, and this is a very simple add-on to the Chrome browser that tells me when a username and a password has been exposed. So when I go and I log into something, it instantly tells me time to change that password. Now, if you couple that with their management software within Chrome, you can create very strong suggested use and unique passwords to go along with that, and you won't have to remember all of them. You can actually grab them if you're logging in through the Chrome browser. I have a Chrome browser here on my iPhone. Obviously that would be available on Android, and so you're relatively covered by these 2 tools. I found them both very useful to manage my user account. Now honestly, it begins and ends with your router in your home, because this is the front-facing device. This is the device that keeps people who shouldn't be there out, and the device that allows people who should be there to be in. Now, there's a couple of different spots where passwords become, again, very important, and that's the administrative panel password. So if you're using admin as your username and password to your administrative panel for your router, well, you've left yourself completely open at that point. On top of that, if your Wi-Fi password has been shared, stop that now, use a good password, and make sure you're not sharing it with people. Instead, use a guest network if you want to allow people to access Wi-Fi when they're in your home, or type in the password for them and don't show them what that password is. Also, make sure you're not using an extremely easy one to guess. No device is infallible as it relates to home security. And so when we talk about cameras and microphones that have the ability to expose you in different ways to the outside world, you really want to think about the placement of those. If you really feel you need a camera in your home, don't point it at the shower. That would be a bad idea. I wouldn't include anything with a camera in your bedroom as well. And when you're thinking about microphones, well, they're likely to be open and utilized in a lot of different ways, or they could be over time. So think about your placement of those as well, and what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with. While no device is infallible, smart home hubs are going to be a bit of a help here for you. Now, what I'm talking about are hubs that employ Z-Wave, Zigbee, and Thread protocols within them and give you the ability to put Internet of Things things are smart home devices on those networks. Those are segregated, separate networks that require authentication in different methods. They also use very good encryption as well within all of them, and they are relatively secure. I love some of my devices from these one-off smart home makers or manufacturers that really have grown out of nothing to produce a couple of products. Those are fantastic devices, and oftentimes they serve a very specific purpose. However, those one-off devices from smaller companies that just do not have the backing of companies like Google, Apple, Amazon, Samsung, those big companies with a lot of software programming experience and programmers to boot, they don't have the ability to necessarily keep up with all of the home security or smart home security needs that you're going to have over the next 5 to 10 years. So my recommendation overall, if you're worried about smart home security, is to start with the big companies and kind of leave it there. Those companies are highly motivated because when they end up in the media with a bad privacy or a bad security concern, it's highly detrimental to them. But these smaller one-off companies don't often make it to the news, and if they do, it's a blip on the radar and people oftentimes don't know about it. So in general, if you're worried about smart home security, stick with the big guys. UPnP, Universal Plug and Play, is a known vulnerability. It's got a bad rap at this point, guys. So if your router has that on it, and it should, you'll probably want to turn that service off. Now there's impacts to that with gaming devices like Xboxes or streaming devices in general like Google Chromecast. So if you turn that off, that known vulnerability will be closed, and it was used in a recent hack where people were seeing videos for PewDiePie on their Google Chromecast. But you know, that vulnerability is very specific. Now, to get around that, you might have to do some port forwarding and look at some other options, but port forwarding is a whole topic unto itself here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to refer you to a great video that you're seeing on screen from our friends at The Hookup. Now, he does a great job with this security discussion. It's at a much deeper level than I'm providing you here. So go ahead, check that out. Otherwise, guys, don't hate, automate, and we'll see you next time.